Welcome people to Papadroid Review for WiredLeaks.com and for Papadroid Reviews, the YouTube channel. So today we have a special day. We will have not one but two reviews to do for you. Starting up with two really interesting phones. We have a budget phone. Can you give it to me, George? Yeah, thank you. We have a budget phone right here from Vivo. It's my first Vivo. By the way, this part of the review is recorded with the Vivo phone, so if the sound is different than you're used to, or something with the views is different, then you know it's just because it's the smartphone that we actually recorded it with. The funny thing is we have two smartphones to review. The other review we will do with the smartphone that... yeah, that's absolutely great. The Vivo Y81s. 64 gigs of RAM, budget phone from Vivo, their cheapest phone by the way, and I think it's still worth buying. And then we have, drumroll, what phone is it?
Honor 8X.
It's the Honor 8X indeed, and this is a phone we've been waiting for quite some while. It's a very interesting phone for several reasons. The build quality, the looks and the price are absolutely unique, or they were unique. This phone is also the reason why the new Redmi Note 7 looks as gorgeous as it does. Why, I will explain that later, but for now, what do you say? Let's dig in and start with the Honor 8X?
Yes.
Okay, here we go folks. So let's have a look inside the box of the Honor 8X. The Honor 8X is available for about 200-225 euros, depending on the region where you will buy it. And you can buy it for 180 euros, 182 euros on the Chinese market. So it's an interesting phone to look at, especially for the price. It's a budget phone, and Honor did its best to hide the fact that it's a budget phone. Now, let's open the box and just see what's in there. Of course, we have the phone itself. I'm gonna just put that away for a bit and just GPU case, of course, SIM ejection tool as you would expect, and then there's actually some earphones in there. They actually did that's great. That's a great offering, because usually budget phones do not come with extra earphones, and the earphones of Huawei and Honor are known to be quite good when it comes to the quality of it. Then there is the micro USB. People, stop putting micro USB cables in our phones. We want USB-C, right? They just keep doing that. Why? Why? You or why? I don't know. Let's not do that. Okay. Next thing is the fast charger. So it supports fast charging. That's quite well. And well, that's it. So it's the basics. But to be honest, it's the basics plus, because it's an USB, micro USB instead of USB-C, but they put in the earphones. So I think for the price, you shouldn't complain. I don't think you should complain about this phone anyway, because let me show you the phone itself. So there is the front, and that all looks quite nice. Then you realize it's not really big in my hands, but this phone has a 6.5 inch, yes people, 6.5 inch, there were days when we used to call this a tablet, screen size, full HD of course, and it has a notch, as you can tell. There's the notch. So yeah. And it also has, and that's really impressive, it has a rear that is absolutely fantastic. Take a look at this. I don't know if you can catch this, the light breaking of the glass rear. It's just come on closer with the camera because it's stunning. Just look at this, people. The fingerprints. Of course, it's a fingerprint magnet, as all glass phones are. So I'm not even gonna complain about that. If you want to have this bright, stunning look, then yes, you will have to deal with the fingerprint prints on the rear. It's a bit smudgy, but then you see we have dual cameras, and we have great dual cameras, and that's not all. We also have a fantastic working front camera. I will, of course, show you some camera samples later on. Now let's check the fingerprint scanner and how fast it works. So I'm gonna try it like this. Push and it's on. It's really fast. And push and it's on. Now. So it's really no mistakes there. It's fast. It's correct. And look at this screen, 6.5 inch, people. There comes a point when a screen size will be too ridiculous. I thought 6.2 would be that border of saneness, but actually it's possible to have even bigger screens and still it feels comfy in the hand, and they managed to do that. Now let's just open some apps to see how fast it is. Let's open the Facebook app, and it's running on a Kirin chipset, if I'm correct. It is their own chipset, and we know UI and Honor makes fantastic chipsets, so it really is fast. It's open the camera app for a bit here. I'm shooting pictures, which I didn't want to do. Just it's really dark in this room, and I'll just look at how bright the colors are on the screen. Of course, it comes with artificial intelligence, which is great to have. So let's take a look at the phone itself. As you can see, about the phone, it's an Honor 8X. Like I said, it runs on EMUI 8.2, as you can tell, Android version 8.1. And it has a CPU that's running a Kirin 710 chipset, which is comparable to the 660 Snapdragon series. It comes with 4 gigs of RAM, which is the lower version. There's also a 6 gig of RAM version available. And it comes with a whopping 64 gigs of internal storage. And that's also the low-end version, because there's also a 128 version available. But considering you have enormous amount of things you can put in the cloud these days, where your pictures, your music are saved from dropping your phone and losing everything you have. So I think those 64 gigs of internal storage should do the trick. But if you want to spend a couple of tenors more, then there's also the possibility to buy the larger version. So now there's something I want to say about this phone. Like I said before, this phone is the reason why the new Redmi Note 7 is going to look as stunning as it does. Why? Simply because Honor launched this phone basically together with the Note 6 Pro. The Note 6 Pro, which is a fantastic budget phone with a great camera. It has everything that you expect a phone to have, especially a budget phone like this. But the design language was the old Xiaomi design language that we have seen several times. It was built up plastic. So it didn't really have a classy or high-end look. This phone, however, same price range, same AI functions in the camera, same specs when it comes to Antutu scores and things like that. And in fact, it's even a bit faster than the Redmi Note. But altogether, they managed to build a phone that's a competitor of the Redmi Note 6 back then, with a much more classy high-end look. And just like Xiaomi basically forced the entire mobile industry to drop their prices because they couldn't compete with the low Xiaomi prices anymore, we can definitely see that the language of design, the design language of Huawei and Honor, has been borrowed by a lot of the competition, because you cannot imagine a brand that doesn't have a gradient rear phone or a mirroring phone like this. And we can say whatever we want, but Huawei and Honor were the brands that started this. So, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason to bring great competition to the table. Why Honor decided to, Xiaomi decided to come up with the Note 7 and make it this glass finished rear, which is great. Okay, now let's jump into this phone and let me give you some sample of the sound. I'm pretty sure there's YouTube on here. Let's go there. And let's just select anything. Let's give me some music. Just selecting something right here to give you an impression of what the speakers do. Let me crank up the volume. And of course, let's kill the ad because we want music, no ad. And then let's see what those speakers can actually do. Well, as you can see, it has downfiring speakers, and to be honest, the sound is nowhere near the sound of the Redmi Note 6, so it sounds a bit canny. But on the other hand, this is not a phone you buy for the good sound quality, and I know Honor, I know Huawei. If you want to listen to music and you want to have a good sound quality, just plug in your earbuds and you'll be fine. That's not a problem there. For the speaker, it's a bit canny for my taste, but on the other hand, it's a budget phone with a great look altogether. And well, I think the only thing that's left to do is to take a look at the Antutu Score that I did with it. Something I also want to show you, by the way, is the GPS testing that we did. Let's go to the screenshots here. Maybe we can film the phone while I'm doing that. It's always looking great. Let's go to the gallery, which obviously I can't find because I'm looking at the phone upside down. It's kind of funny. Let me go right there. Yeah, that's always great to have somebody behind the camera who actually knows the phone. Let me go to the screenshots, and we did a GPS test. It was indoors, it's rainy outside, it's cloudy, and it surprised me because it took a while to actually get the fix. And before it got to the 5 meters of accuracy, I noticed that it shot up. It increased in distance up to 600 meters. And then from there, it counted down to 5, which is something I never saw on a smartphone before. Maybe it's the position of the satellites that was the cause of that, or whatever. I don't know. It's just weird to see that, and I thought I would mention it. On the other hand, 5 meters of accuracy is quite okay, especially considering the fact that it's inside. So yeah, nothing bad there. Now let's go to the Antutu Score I did earlier. I must say, it's exactly what I expected from the Kirin 710. It comes to 141K, which is ridiculously fast for a budget phone. Of course, there are faster phones out there, and of course, there are slower phones out there. I'm not pretty sure if there's much faster phones for this price range, however. So that's something. And now I'm looking at this phone upside down, and I noticed just maybe we can zoom in on this. Look at how thin they managed to keep that chin. Go back. Look at how close the letters are actually to the. We have seen many notch phones in the Chinese version or the Chinese design, and they usually had this slight chin, and there's basically no chin on the Honor 8X, which is absolutely great to see. I just noticed that. I thought I'd mention that. So I think this is pretty much all we can tell you about the Honor C for now. Honor 8X, I am sorry, the Honor 8C is quite a different story. I'll tell you about that some other time if necessary. I don't think it's a phone that's really worth mentioning, especially if you just add a couple of tenners and you're able to buy this phone. I just leave the Honor 8C for what it is. Just go for this. The quality is so much different. If you want to spend €150 on a phone, and you want a decent phone, we will show you in a couple of minutes which phone will be great for that, because that's the Vivo Y81S that I'm using to film this, or used to film this at the moment. So let's switch phones and cameras, and then I'll be back with the Vivo Y81S review. Of course, before we do that, don't worry, there will be camera samples and a camera review of the 8X coming up. We will show you this later on. So don't worry, I know you know I'm a camera person and I always do camera reviews. The camera review of this one is coming up. Now let's switch to the other phone. And if you want to see the review of the Vivo Y81S, don't forget there's a link in the subscription below. And while you're already in the subscription section there, just hit like, hit subscribe. Remember that if you like us, if you subscribe us, just be so nice and also click that notification bell. Then you know whenever we upload something new, and support us. That way we can bring you the newest smartphones and keep continuing doing that. So just hit subscribe, hit like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.